Good evening, folks. I'm a couple of days behind with this video. Obviously, I'm talking about that fucking fantastic fight between David Benavidez and David Morrell the other day. This has got to be, so far, fight of the year. It's definitely, we're only in February, it's definitely fight of the year so far. And it's going to take some beating. What a wonderful fight this was. From start to finish, I was thoroughly captivated. I was on the edge of my seat throughout the whole thing. Absolutely fantastic. David Benavidez took an unanimous decision, excuse me, easy for me to say, and to keep his WBC interim light heavyweight title and to add the WBA regular title to his collection. Now, I'll just get this out of the way first. Those titles are bullshit titles. They're trinkets. Artur Beterbiev is the only true light heavyweight champion in the world in boxing at the moment. Obviously, he's got his rematch with Dmitry Bivol coming up. But this WBA regular title stuff, it's got to stop. It's bullshit. It's not a proper world title. You know, to even say it's a world title when we've got an undisputed champion in the division is, frankly, ridiculous in my opinion. And lots of other people's opinion too. But that aside, that takes nothing away from this fight. This fight was absolutely brilliant. Both guys gave it their all. Benavidez was just sharper. He landed the more meaningful, hurtful punches. But Morrell, every time Benavidez seemed to be getting, a foothold in it, Morrell would just use that slick footwork and hand speed, just to come back. Round 4 was. I can't do this fight justice, people. If you've not seen it, you need to go and watch it. I can't put it into words good enough to describe this fight. But that 4th round, that will be probably round of the year for 2025. Absolutely fantastic. These two guys gave it their all. David Benavidez took the decision. Now, I had it 115, 111, as did two of the judges. I haven't watched the fight back, but seeing as two judges had it the same as me, I haven't got an issue with it. I have got an issue with that ludicrously wide card. I think 118, 108 or something like that for Benavidez. That was pathetic. That card, it seems to be a big thing, a common occurrence at the moment. Every time we have a wonderful fight, there is always at least one card that is way, way, way wrong. It's out. And that was that one. And I think they need to start investigating these judges sometimes, because I don't know if it's, I say it every time, it can't all be corruption, but I don't know, there's a lot of stupidity, and it's just ludicrous to me how two judges can have it how I saw it. Now, I'm no expert. I've been a fan of this sport for it'll be 35 years this year. I've seen a lot of fights in my time. I've attended a lot of live fights. And, I know how to score a fucking boxing match, And when I see cards that are similar to mine, you kind of go, well, I can't be, that makes sense to me. And then you have one or two that are just completely wrong. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. But in the end, it didn't really matter. The right man won. So that was that. 2 points in the 11th round. David Morrell scored a knockdown. It was kind of like, it looked like, when it happened, it looked like a sort of clubbing right that put Benavidez down. Benavidez wasn't badly hurt, it got straight back up. But on the replays, you can clearly see that David Benavidez tripped over David Morrell's foot. And the punch didn't actually seem to land that cleanly. I'll have to watch it again. But I think that was a bit of a hard done by thing there towards Benavidez. That was a bit of a bullshit decision there. That shouldn't have been a knockdown, that was a trip. Or a slip, but it was counted as a knockdown. Again, it didn't matter. It didn't affect the outcome. But yeah, I just didn't personally think that was a knockdown. If you disagree with me, that's fair enough. But I just didn't think it warranted a count. And at the end of the round, David Morrell landed a late punch, and Morrell had a point taken off, which I thought was harsh. Actually, I thought it was harsh. It's not like when these things happen in boxing, in the heat of the moment, you're in the heat of battle. Sometimes you don't always hear the bell. Sometimes you start throwing a punch before the bell goes or as the bell's going. You know, these things happen. It's just it's a hazard of the sport. It happens a lot, and I thought that was a bit of a harsh point deduction from Morrell, but yeah, it didn't. Again, it didn't affect the outcome. Benavidez won it clearly in my eyes. Both guys at the press conference, both their faces battered and bruised. That just showed what a brutal fight it was, what a classic fight it was, and I'd like to see both guys do it again down the line. Oh, it's gone out. I'll have to light that again in a minute. I'd love to see them both do it again down the line. Now, there was talk, I believe, of Benavidez taking on the winner of Bivol, Beterbiev. Yeah, maybe, but there's also talk of him moving up to cruiserweight to fight Zurdo Ramirez or something like that. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'm actually a fan of Benavidez. I know he gets a lot of shit online. A lot of people give him a lot of shit. A lot of fans, what have you, so-called experts give him a lot of shit. But you know, I'm a big fan of his. I like his. Oh, excuse me. I love his style. I think his style is fantastic. He's exciting. Obviously, I'd love to see him in the ring with Canelo Alvarez. I don't think it's ever going to happen. But yeah, that would have been a dream. That fight should have happened last year, in my opinion. But hey ho, but there you go. So yeah, exciting stuff. Absolutely brilliant fight. If you've not seen it, go and watch it. You will enjoy it thoroughly. And on the undercard, we had another fight of the year contender. Isaac Pitbull Cruz took a decision over Angel Fierro. I think I've said his name right. Absolutely fantastic. There was no art to this. There was no sweet science to this one. They were just fucking going for it. They were throwing bombs from the get-go. It was a brawl, and it was one of the most exciting things I've ever seen. It was right up there with Ward and Gatti. You know, they were just fucking going for it. Absolutely fantastic fight. We were spoilt. And also on the undercard, Stephen Fulton won his rematch with Brandon Figueroa to take the WBC featherweight title. Now I got a bit confused with all this because last I'd heard, Ray Vargas was the WBC featherweight champion, but it would appear he's been named champion of recess. Brandon Figueroa took the interim title at some point last year, and in October he was elevated to full champion. So this was actually for the full WBC featherweight title. So Stephen Fulton is now two-weight world champion. He beat Brandon Figueroa in their rematch. I was actually picking Figueroa to win this one. I know Fulton won the first fight down at super bantamweight. I was actually picking Figueroa to win this one, purely because I thought that Stephen Fulton was on the decline. He took a bit of a shellacking against Inoue a couple of years ago, and that was a fight where I was actually picking Fulton to give Inoue some problems, and he was pretty much dominated throughout and obviously knocked out. And he hasn't looked particularly good in my opinion since. So fair play, he did everything right in that fight. You know, was it the most exciting fight? No, but again, it was absorbing and enjoyable. The crowd seemed to start piling on there a little bit. I thought it was a bit bullshit. I tend to turn the sound down a lot because I can't bear the commentary a lot of the time. But I had the sound on for this one. Quite low, but I had it on, and the crowd were just jeering and booing and boring and all that. It's like, you know, these fucking idiots. Why buy a ticket to a fight if you're just going to do that? I'm sure drink has a lot to do with it. You know, they get a few beers in them, they get a bit leery and a bit loud. They don't appreciate what they're looking at, and they get a bit gobby. You know, that's it really. But no, good performance from Fulton. So he's now a two-weight world champion. It'll be interesting to see what he does in the future. Maybe when Inoue moves up to featherweight, which he probably will, either by the end of this year or beginning of next year, maybe they can get it on a unification fight, because I believe the plan is to put Inoue in with Ball for the WBA title. So if he won that, then it'd be... Anyway, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts, a lot of things going on in the featherweight division. So yeah, it was a great card of boxing, and 2 fight of the year candidates on there. So very, very impressed with David Benavidez. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Right folks, that's enough out of me. I hope you're all well, and take care. I'll speak to you soon, and thanks for subscribing. Thank you for watching me. Thanks for any likes you give me. Really appreciate it. I'll do this because I love it, and I do this, and you guys keep me going. To be honest, you keep me sane. So thanks again. I love you all. Take care. I'll speak to you soon.